Okay, juniors, I thought this might be a better method than doing a Zoom so that you can watch it anytime that you see fit. It's going to be like a little review. I do want to tell you, I thought you guys have done a really good job on the budget and the personal financial goals that you set. One thing about the goals, hopefully you learned the difference between long, intermediate, and short term. I think, for example, one of the long-term goals for all of you would be a retirement account. That's an investment asset that all of you, over the course of time, most of you are 16 or 17 now, but long-term, your retirement account is a long-term goal for you. Your retirement account is an investment asset that you can invest in over the course of years, and we've talked about compounding and the power of compounding and finding that to be the great benefit and equalizer, having your money earn money for yourself. If you would go to the PowerPoint, that will help you. If you pull out the test and review it, that will help you. The textbook, if you go to chapter 3 and read it, you'd be ahead of the game as opposed to the students that don't read it. It shouldn't take you very long. It's actually something that won't put you to sleep because it pertains to you making money in the future. But I'm going to talk really about slide 10, 11, 12 range. That's the important stuff. Some of this stuff comes from the accounting class. So what a balance sheet is. A balance sheet, is going to talk about your financial position. It's going to talk about things what your net worth is, which we're going to get to here. But the balance sheet tells you, again, your financial position. What are assets? Assets are anything that you own. I think liquidity and liquid assets is what quick cash and things that you can turn into cash quickly. They're all different types of other assets as well, but those are listed there. But again, liquidity is how fast and quickly you can get cash. Liabilities. I feel like when we talk about liabilities, we're talking debts. What do you owe? You have some that are short term, like less than a year. Then you have long term liabilities. Like if you think about it, long term liability would be like a mortgage payment. A mortgage payment could be 30 years. That's 360 payments every month. And the one thing about that type of that's called a fixed expense, right? Like we are fixed on that amount. Like you're paying the same amount every time for 30 years. Something that would be a variable expense is it changes every month. Your cell phone bill for most of you probably is variable. So your telephone bill, depending on how many texts you send, what kind of services you use, if you go over in data, it probably varies. So that would be a variable expense. Staying here is the net worth. So net worth is you take your assets minus your liabilities. So anything you're worth. So when you try to look up any famous person's net worth, they'll take their assets minus their liabilities. Therefore, a number shows up. So if you wanted to figure out your net worth, you'd add all your assets, take things that you owed in liabilities, and then figure out the difference, and that is your net worth. So you see sometimes really rich people that have a high net worth but have financial problems, and that's very possible because some of their liabilities still have to continue to grow over time. The balance sheet, and it talks about ways to increase your net worth, savings. Like most people struggle to save money. We've talked a lot about that in class, I feel. The other things that people sometimes struggle with is they don't budget. Like you should budget your monthly expenses. If you do that, you're in better financial position because when you budget, you take all your fixed expenses and you list them in your budget first. So if you remember back to the budget part that you saw on Monday and Tuesday, you had all the fixed expenses at the top, then all the variable expenses at the bottom, like going out to eat. I would say for this last week and this week, most of you have a very small variable expenses. You haven't spent a lot of money. A lot of you haven't left the house very often. Those are things that you want to do. A personal balance sheet, you can do this for your family, and that comes right here. Like what items do you own? And then what you owe, and then your net worth, and what is your wealth. And that is a personal balance sheet. Talks a little bit about here is statement of cash flows, how money comes in. For most of you, you get a paycheck at work, at your job. Then there's taxes taken out. And then what the last number is your take-home pay, how much money you get to actually take home with you to use on whatever you feel you would like to spend your money on. And again, there's needs and wants that all of us have that are a little different. Um, Again, the budget comes down to here, and there's needs and wants like we just talked about. I think most of you will do very well on this quiz. I know you can use the PowerPoint, but you also can use the textbook. If you watch this short video, it probably will help you a lot. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me anything or put them in the Google Classroom. But I feel that most of you, over the stuff we've talked about through our class and through Mrs. Yokati, this chapter tends to be a pretty easy one and sort of informative because of it involves you spending, saving, investing money with your own money in the future. That being said, the quiz will be available to you on Thursday to take it. I'll probably open it actually Wednesday evening, so you can take it Wednesday night or Thursday. I want all of you to have a great spring break. Hope you enjoy getting some downtime, spending some time with your family. I'm sure some of you are playing games you've never played before or haven't played for 5 or 6 years before, and that's good for you, and hopefully you're enjoying that. If you have any questions, feel free to give me an email, and I'll get right back to you. Thank you.